Good morning, this is Glade Miller Smith with Family Farm Beef Box. Just wanted to introduce you to our little system and what a Family Farm Beef Box is. We're coming from our little national headquarters, and if you're expecting a big warehouse, you'll be a little disappointed. This is just a homemade walk-in cooler in central Nebraska. But we take in cattle to the butcher shop every couple weeks to make sure that we have fresh beef for everybody, and then we divide it evenly into 30-pound shares. And so to get that done, we start with ground beef, and it's usually 10, 11 or so pounds of ground beef. This beef, we did the math, and it comes right up to 11. So everything's wrapped in butcher paper, and the reason we do butcher paper is one, because I think it's really pretty. Two, it's a little cheaper and saves the customer money. And three, if you plastic wrap it, and it gets a little nick in that plastic in shipping or whatever, and it gets air around the beef, and when you put it in the freezer, the whole thing's gonna freezer burn. This one, if you get a little nick in it or something, put a little piece of tape over it, you'll be just fine. Kind of old-fashioned ways here. So we start with 10 pounds of ground beef, and then we go to the premium steaks here. And this one, I got a couple T-bones, a couple rib steaks. A rib steak is basically a rib eye, but it's a bone-in rib eye, and so they call it a rib steak. And a couple sirloins in there, and then each box we try to get a package of fajita and a package of stew meat, at least one. And then here pretty soon we will, as more people start firing up their grill, we will replace the stew meat with kebabs. Just cut a little bigger and throw it on the grill, and they are super duper yummy. And then we're gonna go the non-premium steaks. They're typically about 4 regular, just non-premium steaks. That'd be a sirloin tip in this box. Sometimes it'd be a cube steak. I'll tell you what, even if you don't like chicken fried steak, try these as chicken fried steak, and man, super yummy. There might be one of my favorite deals is a cube steak in here, or a chuck steak, which is basically the poor man's ribeye. That's what your chuck steak is. Then we're gonna go a couple roasts here, chuck roast, and a boneless shrimp roast, and a heel roast. Make it all work this time. And this customer, he had specifically asked me for a brisket, and here I am making a video, so I better make sure and get the special request right. He asked for a brisket. This would be a tip of the brisket. But get her all said and done, and we're right at 31 pounds 9 ounces, and of course the cooler weighs something. It puts it pretty close to 30 pounds. It's not an exact science, but right in there with 30 pounds is what we call it. But then we drop some dry ice in it and ship it across the country. We do this on Mondays, and everything ships ground shipped through UPS, and got along great. Had very few customers tell me that it arrived thawed out, and it just works. Put it in your freezer or put it on your grill.